All right, Joe, November 7th, 2015. Man, dude, we had a great show here tonight.
Absolutely, PK. A lot of great matches, a lot of great people. And I'm just going to say this, a lot of hair loss today.
No doubt about that, Joe.
Yes.
Well, first, we start off with Z Williams, the Monster Z. He comes out, and he calls out, and he asks for Chris Damien to come out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's calling him out, and then
Jackie comes out.
And
she's like, hey, I asked him to come out, he won't come out. And then guess who comes out to attack him?
Jackson Carter and James Boulevard.
That's
hey,
right.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke on the way home.
What?
Yeah, well, anyways, they attack Z. Well, then all of a sudden, Vengeance comes out. And he clears them out like roaches in your apartment when the lights come on.
What?
Yeah.
I don't have an apartment. Not my palatial state at Beverly Hills. But anyways, what was interesting is that, Monster Z kept referring to Vengeance as Chris.
Yes, he did.
Chris Damien. And the Vengeance says, I'm not Chris. And he throws down the mic and he goes back into the locker room.
Exactly. And Z looked like he was going to be in a handicap match against Jackson Carter and James Boulevard.
Yeah, well, time will tell.
Exactly. Well, then we had Will Caution versus Kit Bryson. And this is for their best out of 5 for the for the Generations Championship.
That's right.
And it was a non-disqualification match.
That's right.
And I'll tell you something, Will Caution wound up getting the pin. Of course, with some assistance. But he winds up getting...
Will Caution getting the pin? No.
I'm sorry.
It was Kit Bryson, baby.
I stand corrected.
That's right. You need to stand corrected. You always need to stand corrected. So I'll tell you something. It was the man under the tutelage of Jake Hughes and Percival Tobias Benson the Third Esquire. The men who have taught that man...
The mans or the men?
The men. PK, come on.
Just checking. The right mans?
Oh, yeah, whatever. But the point is, under their tutelage, that Kit Bryson has become an awesome champion, and he has gone in there and he defeated Will Caution 1, 2, 3
with a curb stomp. You're right, Joe. So now he's up. He's got 2 wins. All he needs is 1 more. So now Will Caution, if he wants to become the next generation champion, he has to win the next 2 matches.
Absolutely.
Then we had Keith Cage versus the wrestler formerly known as Scorn, who's now going by Michael Manson. I think he put up a good fight, but unfortunately just wasn't his night.
That's right, the 7th grade sensation, Keith Cage, the wonder of Wampa Room. Yes, he went and he took him down. Believe it or not, the hero of Happy Meals once again won a match. Good job, Keith Cage.
Well, he did hit that spinning DDT off the middle rope, and it was good enough for the win. But I think Michael Manson, he did pretty good as Scorn. I think he just needs to get his groove back together.
Absolutely, he's got to reinvent himself, like Madonna.
Well, then we had Adrian Phillips, most improved wrestler of 2014.
Oh, stop it, Pete.
And returning Wasabi, teamed up with him in a tag team against Royal.
That's no. The Royal, PK. The Royal. One of the best tag teams that ever stepped foot in the world of professional wrestling. And I'll tell you something, he gave those 2 the fight of their lives, PK. Wasabi, somehow he made it back to the OSWA. Somehow his little hibachi restaurant got shut down. So I had to finally come back and make some money again. Came begging to me. And yeah, finally he's back at the OSWA. Welcome back.
Well, Joe, it was really interesting because The Royal actually showed their true colors.
What?
And I think they ought to be retitled The Walkaways or
What?
The Wimps.
No!
Because basically they were getting beat. So they decide we're just going to walk away and do a 10 count.
Well, I'll tell you something. Unlike you and all the ditch diggers out there, I saw all the cheap shots that Wasabi and that Adrian Phillips was putting on him.
You were the only one to see him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something.
So nobody else saw it.
Right, because I got a keen eye and great experience. I've been watching this sport for over a quarter of a century. And I'll tell you something, PK. They were not, with all those cheap shots and all the little things that they were doing to The Royal. The Royal are so good and they're so classy. They don't deserve to wrestle dirtbags like that. So they took the high road, they took the moral road, they head out. Good for them. So I'll tell you something, when they're champions, everybody's mouths are going to be shut. And you're all going to go to your little Corey's, your little ditch digging works, and you're going to brag about how you see the great Royal.
Well, you mean The Royal?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just checking. Well, then, Joe, then we had Jake Hughes. He comes out, and he calls out the current Ultimate Champion, the Highlander, Johnny Walker.
Scottish Simple Mind, yes.
Well, he calls him out, and he comes to the middle of the ring. He's like, hey, I want a challenge. I want to take a shot. So he extends his hand. Johnny Walker grabs it and says, okay, we can agree to a match. You're going to face an Ultimate Champion, a former Ultimate Champion.
Oh,
and
what a coward.
And his hair was on the line. Jake Hughes, with his nice flowing locks and
beautiful
stuff like that.
Head of hair, wonderful locks.
Well, then all of a sudden, so who comes out? a former Ultimate Champion indeed, Chad Silva.
Oh yeah, finally he comes out and he decides to wrestle once again, face up here at the OSWA singles competition.
Well, Joe, Chad Silva was a great match, very physical match, but Chad Silva winds up hitting the price check for the finish.
Lucky
and gets
move.
the pin.
Lucky.
And of course, Johnny Walker comes out and cuts the hair of Jake Hughes. And I'll tell you something, he actually did a pretty good job.
I was appalled because that's like putting a mustache on the Mona Lisa.
I think he was kind of feathering it. It actually had some body and some bounce to it. Yeah.
Well, hey, we're talking about Jake Hughes here, pal. We're not talking about, the Bee Gees or something like that. No, he has a beautiful head of hair, and there's no way that he should have ever had his hair cut like that. That is pathetic, and it was a disgrace, and it was a mark on such a great, how should I put it, a work of art.
Well, Joe,
he's a masterpiece.
Well, Joe, obviously you got a serious bromance going on there.
Bromance?
With Jake Hughes,
What?
and we're going to go ahead and press on to the next match.
Yep.
We had Jimmy Lee who came out, and he was tagging with somebody else who returned, Ken O'Sullivan.
That's right. The Belfast Brawler, the Belfast Bruiser, returns again from Ireland, or as I like to call it, East Boston.
Well, Joe, they wind up taking on Lane Cross and Mr. Ballinger, who was representing our tag team champion, CTMD. Chad Wood, though, did get involved during the match. He was ringside. He hit Ken O'Sullivan with the tag team championship belt.
Yes, you're right. I saw how Chad Wood jumped into the ring to go see if his partners, his guys were okay, and suddenly he slipped, and his belt accidentally ran into Ken O'Sullivan.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really scared for him.
So he
hurt his back, and I'll tell you something. I'm going to call one of the guys I know there in Beverly Hills, one of our great chiropractors that I go to personally myself, and we're going to make sure that he is fixed and back in action.
So, Joe, you don't think it was Chad Wood going in there and striking Ken O'Sullivan with the belt so that they can go ahead and get the victory? You don't think it was intentional in any way?
You think that guys of that caliber need that? Heck no. Big A, that's your problem. You're always seeing that the cup is half empty. Well, sometimes the cup is half full, PK.
Okay. Well, and then we had the Monster Z came out for his handicap match with Jackson Carter and James Boulevard.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was looking kind of bleak for the Monster Z.
Yes, it was.
And then who comes out as his partner?
I couldn't believe it.
It was the return of Chris Damien himself.
Head shorn and red, white, and blue.
And I'll tell you, go ahead.
PK, I'll tell you something, that match was physical. It was one of the best matches I've ever seen in the history of the OSWA. I saw a breath of new life, and yes, I still call him the Dominion, because under the guise of American patriotism, I still saw the monsters.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something, it was a great match. Chris Damien and the Monster Z, they wound up doing their old tag team combination. Their finishing maneuver, the Purge, and they wind up getting the pin.
I still like them. You know why? Because I'm a red-blooded American.
Oh, I still like them, too. I thought they did a splendid job.
They did. They cleaned house. I'll tell you something. I can't wait to see them back in action. Full-time, PK, because I'll tell you something. The Dominion is back.
Well, Joe, as a matter of fact, we've got Chris Damien here. And
Right.
Chris, come on to the recap.
Right.
What's up, guys?
Welcome. Doing good.
A pleasure.
So, Chris, welcome back, and tell us what you plan on doing.
Oh my God, man! I can't tell you how great it is to be back in the OSWA again as Chris Damien. It took a lot of fighting, a lot of clawing, a lot of scratching, but with the help of Z Williams, my beautiful wife, and the great fans of the OSWA, I am finally back in the red, white, and blue. And as far as what I plan next, my plan is simple. It's a warning to everyone in that locker room. If you plan on treading on this company, the fans, or the red, white, and blue, the All-American Chris Damien is coming for you.
Well, welcome back. It's good to see you. Always good to have a Marine in the locker room again.
Semper Fi.
We'll see you at the next show.
Pleasure, Chris. I tell you something, I love it. A man representing the best country on the planet, and I say that. It is the best country on the planet. Hands down, all you those foreigners out there.
Totally agree, Joe. We actually have something we can agree on.
Absolutely, the red, white, and blue. They're not back in black. No,
Well,
baby.
let's
They're
keep
back in red,
the
white.
positive news flowing. Our next match and our final match was Johnny Walker versus Zach Daniels for the OSWA Ultimate Championship.
That's right.
His first defense since experience. And of course, Johnny Walker winds up hitting the Haggis Hanger for the win. But that wasn't the end, was it, Joe?
No, it wasn't. And I'll tell you something, I'm surprised that Mac Has-Been actually got lucky. Actually was able to defend his title at least once, so he can enjoy that belt for another 2 weeks at the very most. PK.
Well, Joe, after that, the White Knight came out.
And I use that term tightly.
Yeah, tightly or loosely?
Oh, tightly.
Okay.
I really mean it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then the White Knight came out, basically saying that he's coming back here to the OSWA once again to conquer. And then, Joe, I'll tell you something, folks. We're going to be back here in 2 weeks on November 21st.
That's right.
Is the next O show. Door opens at 6 o'clock, bell at 7. But the cool thing is, we also have a charity event on November 20th in Sati Natucci. There's a benefit show that David Garrison is putting on. But, Joe, there's an interesting twist in that show.
What's that?
Bobby Popham is facing an unknown opponent. And if he loses, David Garrison gets the O show.
Oh, PK.
But if he wins, he gets Bobby Popham gets $1,000.
Well. He just might earn as much as I pay him on a regular basis.
You need to start paying me then on a regular basis. Well, folks.
Earn it.
Well, folks, I'll tell you something. We look forward to being here. You can follow us on OSWAentertainment.com, Facebook.com/OSWA Entertainment, also YouTube.com/OSWA Entertainment to get all caught up on all things that are OSWA. We appreciate you, our fans, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.